now invite Dr. Josie Verghese, Professor of Radio Diagnosis, for this talk. First of all, let me extend my heartfelt gratitude to him who have accepted to come and talk for us. He is at present professor at SNIMS Chalaka Parur, but he is retired professor of radio diagnosis from TDMC Alapura. He did his MBBS from Alapura and then did his MD at Government Medical College. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, all. Orbital and ocular trauma is a common indication for imaging. And modalities used are ultrasound, CT, and MRI. Ultrasound is commonly used because of its availability and it is less expensive. And the ocular anatomy is seen clearly in an ultrasound as cornea, anterior chamber, lens, vitreous chamber, and posterior coating. If in case of body orbital anatomy, we can see it clearly in CT scan. This is a common presentation as black eye, and this is upper eyelid hematoma. On CT scan, we can see a fracture in the roof of the orbit. In olden days, when X-ray was the only modality, the orbital emphysema, that is presence of air in the orbit, was considered as evidence of orbital wall fracture. And now CT scan is clearly showing the orbital hematoma. This is a case of uveoscleral tear. You can see the tear here in the CT scan, here, and the episcleral space is thickened and the hematoma is seen. Subperiosteal hematoma is a lentiform collection of blood in between the periosteum and the bone. This is coronal sections, and we can see the old hematoma here and a fresh bleed very near, second bleed is there. This is a T1 weighted MRI picture showing hyperintense hematoma. In ultrasound also we can see the subperiosteal hematoma as a collection near the bony orbit. This is another case of subperiosteal collection of blood. Hepatic cyst is a consequence of a subperiosteal collection when it is not properly treated, and this is the blood or blood products that is walled off by a fibrous cord. MRI shows like hyphema is presence of blood in the anterior chamber. We can see the lens here. This is the lens, and anterior chamber shows blood. CT scan of the same patient. Trauma to the lens can cause subluxation like this or posterior dislocation. Here, the lens is seen at the surface of the retina. Same picture of same patient in MRI. Here the lens is displaced outside the orbit, and the ultrasound picture shows displaced lens posteriorly. Retinal detachment. Retinal detachment is the detachment of the photosensory layer from the pigmented layer. It is seen as a thin membrane that is bright and smooth, and it is attached posteriorly to the optic disc and anteriorly to the ora serrata. Here you can see the retinal detachment in MRI. This is also a MRI picture, CT scan, and another picture of retinal detachment with vitreous hemorrhage. Posterior vitreous detachment. Here the membrane is not attached to the optic disc, and it shows after movement. After movement means excursion of this membrane after stopping the movement of the globe. After movement can be seen in the retinal detachment also, but it is a lesser extent only. Choroidal detachment, this can be seen as paired and bright membrane that is convex attached to the ciliary body anteriorly and posteriorly at the level of vortex veins. MR picture, CT picture of the same, and these are two T1 weighted MRI pictures. Diagrammatic representation, choroidal detachment is seen as kissing choroids, V-shaped retinal detachment attached to the posteriorly to the optic disc, and this is posterior vitreous detachment. It is showing a after movement, significant after movement. Here, lesser extent of the lesser degree of after movement can be seen. No after movement is seen in choroidal detachment. After treatment of the retinal detachment, this is pneumatic retinopexy and the silicone oil implantation. Intraocular hemorrhages. Retrobulbar hematoma, this can be intracorneal like this. This also is intracorneal, but here it is extracorneal and it cannot be differentiated from subperiosteal hematoma by imaging. This is the ultrasound picture. Hematoma is here adjacent to the optic nerve. Tyson syndrome is SAH with hematoma or orbital hematoma. Traumatic optic neuropathy, as Madam said, this is the fragment of displaced fragment of bone that is in the optic canal, damaging the optic nerve. Roof of the optic canal damage, fracture. The fracture of the floor of the optic canal. Optic nerve condition can be seen in MRI picture as edema. Here also this is edema of the optic nerve in stirred sequences. CT scan showing optic sheath hematoma. Optic sheath hematoma. Here this is optic sheath hematoma. The width of the optic sheath is increased. More than 3 millimeters is suggestive of optic sheath hematoma in proper clinical scenario. And it should be measured 3 millimeters posterior to the orbital margin. Optic nerve avulsion clearly seen in the CT scan as a discontinuation of the optic nerve. Here also, this is an ultrasound picture showing alteration of the junction of the optic nerve. This is the optic nerve, junction of the optic nerve and the globe. This is vitreous hemorrhage, and there is a fresh blood collected adjacent to the optic nerve. Blood fracture. Fracture of the orbital wall with maintaining the orbital margins. The orbital contents can be herniated out into the maxillary sinus. This patient had an orbital floor fracture with the inferior rectus muscle entrapped so that the upper gaze is lacked. Trapdoor sign. Here, at the time of the fracture, the orbital contents are allowed to herniate down, and the bone will require gone back to this original place so that it acts as a trapdoor. Here, the medial wall of the orbit is fractured and trapdoor sign is seen. Same patient. Similar case in MRI. This is the trapdoor, the herniated contents. Teardrop sign is a opacity seen in the shape of a teardrop hanging down from the orbital floor. This is orbital fat, herniated orbital fat. Absent muscle sign is in a severe injury, the muscle can be lacerated or it is entrapped in the fracture so that it is not seen in the anatomical position in standard views. This is another case of trauma. blow-in fracture. The displaced fragment is the fractured fragment is displaced into the orbit. Here the roof of the orbit fracture displaced into the orbit. This is called blow-in fractures. And blow-in fracture can cause orbital hematoma or optic nerve injury or muscle entrapment. Globe luxation, complete or partial prolapse of the globe can occur. This is called globe luxation out of the orbit. Complications, post-traumatic meningocele. This is continuous in the CSF space. This is only fluid collection, not continuous in the CSF, so it is called a pseudomeningocele. Carotid-cavernous fistula. In arterial phase, normal carotid artery is seen here, but on left side, along with the carotid artery, the cavernous sinus also is opacified, so it is a carotid-cavernous fistula. The superior ophthalmic vein is prominent. And this was a case of trauma. At first we thought that there is only a soft tissue swelling there, but the clinical picture was afferent pupillary defect. So careful examination showed there is a small air pocket there, and coronal reconstruction showed the fracture of optic canal floor as well as the roof. So optic nerve was damaged. Open globe injury, discontinuity of the ocular wall is the least frequent sign of open globe injury. Punctured tear sign or asymmetry in size of the two globes, intraocular air and asymmetry of the anterior chamber can be seen. And foreign body, it's very difficult to identify in imaging. 50% of the foreign body, that is organic foreign bodies, only 50% can be seen in imaging. Glass pieces can be seen hyperdense in CT and hyperechoic in ultrasound. And if metallic foreign body is suspected, MRI is contraindicated. These are the DDs, scleral calcification and Rusen. And take home message, don't expect discontinuity of the ocular wall in every case of open globe injury. Depending on its composition, appearance of the foreign body can vary with CT images, especially of the organic foreign bodies. Don't expect to see all the foreign bodies in image. Even if imaging is negative, there can be foreign body. Always correlate the imaging findings with clinical features. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Joshi sir, for the